Normally, I try to find all records just because it's fine to hard them on digital. So I try to find like all gyms just to go to digital and can play it. Yeah. On my hometown in Huesca, there was just one mini shop, and I remember we meet some friends and we do like trips to Barcelona to find some records. And I start to work when I was 16, and I spend all my money on turntables and vinyls. Yeah. My first vinyl was like a DC-10, Pink Records, was a label from Valencia, maybe like a kind of máquina, but not máquina, and was like a compilation because it was my first vinyl, so I tried to buy a compilation so I can play a lot of tracks. The Jacks. When I started to play, all my vinyls was like from online, and I remember that there was a guy from Zaragoza coming to Huesca with a band, and he was always stoned. And he called you like at 2 in the morning. Hey, Andres, are you at home? Yeah, can you bring some money? I have some records. Yeah, yeah. And then I go to his band and we listen tracks until 5 a.m. or more. Sometimes it was crazy. Space. Oh, Christian Varela.
You know, I just have a phone. I don't have
Bonsai.
plastic bags.
I play a lot of tracks from Bonsai also,
You will have to.
because nowadays you can play tracks from the 90s and it's working. As I told you, I always looking for old tracks, so I spend a lot of time on Discogs, like searching like old games. It's like a spiritual thing. You come here, you listen. But I want to spend here like a lot of hours. It's not just a thing that I go just for 15 minutes. I think it's like you need to spend too many hours and listen to find. And if you have a good relationship with the owner, that's the key. Yeah. Wow, check. Paul Kalkbrenner, 2006, B-Pitch. When Paul Kalkbrenner was on B-Pitch, Keuler from Paris. That's good. Funky voice. Lucas Leith. So that's the thing I love late 90s and all the skill music, because it reminds me when I start to play. It's not better than today's music, maybe it's different, but I think was more original. And nowadays, anyone can do music, can produce music. On this age, on the 19th, I think music was like more for musicians and stuff. Now I can do music, so and I not consider myself a musician. Searching for God. Acid Beats. Surgeon. La Real. Anthem. Vitalik, Bonipar. Nowadays, if I'm searching for vinyls, I'm searching just to record them, maybe edit them. Just when I want to listen music on my house, I just bought like some hip hop stuff or some like more ambient stuff. But nowadays, as I told you, I'm looking for like a really maybe weird stuff just to record, and you can play it nowadays, this kind of music. People is like, wow, what the fuck is that? And sometimes it's not working, nothing. So it makes it more like exclusive. Christian Varela, our pre-made. This was the age I started to listen techno, hard group. Now techno is getting more like raw hard style, like super tough. But I think this kind of sound will come back, like groovy stuff, tribal stuff. I start with like hard trance and this kind of labels like Overdrive, a lot of Spanish labels because here in Spain, you know the La Ruta del Bacalao. When electronic music started here in Spain, it was in Valencia with La Ruta del Bacalao, so a lot of people come from Valencia to Huesca when I born, just to party. And there was a lot of discotheques like Florida 135, Coliseum. And Huesca is like a small village, but there was no laws, no rules. So people can get party from Friday to Monday. It was a long time ago. And I started like a kid there. I started to play in one of the clubs when I was 14. And then I became president of Coliseum and then Florida. And I started to have residencies in some clubs in Huesca. But it was crazy because some people from Barcelona come to Huesca to party and it's like, wow, this is like a small village, like 40,000 people. And there was like a lot of clubs, a lot of scene. This is the first loops that they made on vinyl. Still always there. Cool stuff. Polka Brenner. Nice Caldera sound. The thing was, I love vinyl, but at some moment of my career, I go to some clubs and okay, here you have your some tables, some plastic tables. And did you try them? No, it's the first time we put some tables. And I was more focused on, on the needle and the feedback of the turntable than on the set. So then I moved to CDJs. And the first time, CDJs for me was like, wow, terrified. Baby. Luke Slater. 93. That's all. Fuck the industry. If you don't know it's from 93, you can think it's from 2020. It's crazy. We're coming back. If you believe in the light, it's because of obscurity. If you believe in happiness, it's because of unhappiness. If you believe in God, then you have to believe in the devil. I start to play with vinyl, so I think for me it's important to know how to play with vinyls. Nowadays, some of the DJs maybe don't have turntables at home or are into the digital thing. This one changes everything. I'm still playing. Was the first time I saw a venue, people, the crowd, like in a fucking rock concert. It's big tune. And I love Vitalik also. I prefer cocaine. Dance like cocaine. Dance like a machine. Well done, Pasquier, well done. Welcome. This is like a machine. Surgeon, La Real. I played this record like, I still play in this record. This also and this also. This record I think is bring me memories from Monegros Festival. Like a tribal track. Check it. Like hypnotic also, because like super loopy. It's crazy. And La Real was a venue in Spain. Was a discotheque. And the bass. It's crazy. That's crazy. Fantastic. Robert Armani, Ambulance. I think Anton Clamaran take his sample and do this anthem. Written by Robert Armani and Tony Clamaran. Okay. So it's Robert Armani behind. Because sounds like the Ambulance from Robert Armani. Last time I played this was making back to back with It's Everything in Amsterdam at AD. People get crazy because everybody knows this track, and maybe some of them last time they heard them was like a long time ago. So when I started pam pam pam, people were wow, and a lot of young people was asking me, what the fuck is this track? Cobra. Good label. Paco Suna remix. Paco, at your orders. This is from, it's an old one for sure. There's New Year. I think it's gonna be from the late 90s or maybe 2000. This is the Killian remix. You know, Killian original. It's crazy. Tough. Come on, come on. And the Paco Suna remix. Tune from Paco, Don Paco Suna. West Bam, Hold Me Back. You know, Macarena, eh? Same groove. That's true. Dale a tu cuerpo alegría, Macarena. Hold me back. From the 90s. That's crazy. Let's move. And now for me it's impossible to listen this. I'm thinking about La Macarena. Oh fuck, La Macarena. Yeah, you know Hueva? Yeah, everybody knows Hueva. First time I listened Hueva was when he was producing like hard groove stuff. So, like this. Such a genius producing. A nice guy also. So this was the old Hueva. Intense and funky. Woo. Wow.
they're like your wee pals, they're your friends, they become part of your family. Record stores can be a little bit intimidating sometimes, but they create such a nice environment. The coziest place in Berlin. Yeah, I found a lot of really, really, really good records that are pretty positive no one else has. This is definitely my favorite record store. It just gets me. I get it and it gets me.